Hello, and welcome to episode 5 on my podcast. You might notice that my sound quality is better today, and that's because my new mic arrived, and I'm very excited about it. I had actually planned to record something different today, but I was reading an article earlier, as I do most days. I read psychological and astrological and cosmic articles mostly. I was reading an article today about emotional intelligence, and I really want to talk about it. I just found it to be something that I really agree with, that I can really relate to and understand, and I think it's a very underrated thing. So I'm going to read the article to you, and then I'm going to share my thoughts with you, and hopefully it will give you a little bit of something to think about. But before I get into reading the article, I just want to ask you guys, if you enjoy my podcast, then please like or follow or subscribe depending on what platform you're listening on. I really do appreciate it a lot, and it really helps me out. This topic is something that I actually touched briefly on the other day when I was talking about kind of shallow conversations and that kind of thing. But this article is really interesting, and I'm so happy to be sharing it with everyone. So the article is written by Inc.com, and it says, "Why emotionally intelligent people embrace the rule of the awkward conversation, backed by science." And I really appreciate that there's actually people out in the world researching this kind of thing. It makes me very happy. So let's get into this article then. Imagine you're attending an industry conference and the speaker splits everyone into pairs. Uh-oh, you probably think. Then he says, you'll spend the next 10 minutes asking each other 4 questions. 1. What in your life do you feel most grateful for? 2. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, your future, or anything else, what would you want to know? 3. If you were going to become a close friend with another participant, please share what would be most important for him or her to know. And 4. Can you describe a time you cried in front of another person? Sound like something you would enjoy? Nope. Nor does it sound like something the other person would enjoy. Since emotional intelligence often involves putting yourself in someone else's shoes, you figure you'll both hate it, until you actually do it, that is. When researchers conducted this experiment as part of a series of studies published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, participants said that they felt less awkward, more connected, and a lot happier after those conversations than they expected to feel. In fact, it took the speaker 5 minutes to get all the pairs to stop talking. The same held true with subsequent experiments. While participants predicted that answering a question from a stranger like, "What is one of the more embarrassing moments in your life?" would make them feel extremely awkward and uncomfortable, the opposite turned out to be true. Oddly enough, the more awkward and uncomfortable a conversation sounded, the more they tended to enjoy the conversation. The more they felt they bonded with the other person, the more they liked the other person. Yep, the deeper the conversation, especially with someone you don't know, the more likely you'll enjoy it, and the happier you're likely to feel afterward. And here's the thing, there are no magic questions. When researchers asked people to come up with what they considered to be deeper questions, the most common were pretty straightforward, like, what do you love doing? Or what do you regret most? Or where do you see yourself in 5 years? Simple stuff. As the researchers write, the people in our experiments expected that deeper conversations would be significantly more awkward than they actually were. The overly pessimistic expectations about deep talk stemmed from the misplaced assumption that one's conversational partner would be largely indifferent to the interaction. In reality, the other person also typically enjoyed getting beyond superficialities. Our research suggests that the person next to you would probably be happier talking about their passion and purpose than the weather and what's up. In fact, deep conversations with a stranger left people feeling just as positive as they did after having deep conversations with a friend. So put yourself in another person's shoes, especially someone you just met, and think about what research says they will appreciate. Go a little deeper the next time you default into a small talk conversational gem like, what kind of work do you do? Follow up with a deeper question. My favorite is, that sounds difficult. What's the toughest part of your job? Because every job is difficult. While it may feel awkward for a few seconds, that's okay. If you're sincere, which you can show by actually listening to the answer, the other person will quickly warm to the subject. Then just keep listening and asking follow-up questions. Your interest will encourage the other person to open up, to be more thoughtful, to go a little deeper, to ask you to go a little deeper. The result will be a conversation that is more meaningful and fulfilling and will leave you both feeling happier. Can't beat that. I really loved and appreciated this article, and I'll tell you why. I am a person who understands and realizes how short life really is. And honestly, when you're just having really shallow conversations with people, it just feels like a waste of time to me. It feels like, that you're just dwindling down your moments and never actually reaching a connected level with another person. It actually leads me to feel more disconnected rather than fulfilled or included or happy. It makes me feel empty almost, because really the conversation is empty and the words are empty and it's just kind of like empty. I would consider myself a shy person in general, and also I would consider myself socially awkward. If you ask people who know me, they would probably say I'm a bit of an introvert, because if I don't really feel a connection with a person, I won't really speak to them on any level. Like, I will just do like very basic conversation with them, just kind of to be polite, which is not a thing that I enjoy, to be honest. But I won't have like a longer conversation with them because there's no connection there, there's no meaning behind it for me, and I just feel like it's a waste of time. If you ask people who have spoken to me on a deeper level, who know me better, they wouldn't call me shy, because I do not sugarcoat anything. I will tell everyone the truth, even if it's the harsh reality, because sometimes people need to hear that. We're always so afraid of upsetting someone or offending someone that sometimes we don't tell that person the truth, and sometimes people really need to hear the truth, because you can't just be a yes man. And if you're walking around and telling your friends everything that they want to hear, but they have like serious flaws, then they're never going to work on those things. So you're doing an injustice to yourself by tolerating something that you think is inappropriate or makes you uncomfortable, but you're also doing a disservice to your friend or family member or whoever, because you're not giving them the opportunity to improve themselves by telling them the truth about their actions or what they're doing, how it makes you feel. If these test subjects, who are actually strangers and don't know each other at all, can have a deeper, more meaningful conversation, then imagine what you could accomplish with the people in your life who you actually care about, who are close to you, whose opinions you value and you want to hear, and who should be valuing your opinion too. I really love this topic because it's something that is an ongoing issue in life, like you want to have these deeper conversations with people, but people resist that because it requires a certain level of vulnerability to have these deeper conversations. And being vulnerable can sometimes, for some people, mean like showing weakness, or, people have been hurt. All of us have been hurt. I mean, I don't know any adult person or even teenagers who've never been hurt by someone. I mean, we all get hurt by people, and it takes some courage to be vulnerable again after that. And I get that. But we've got to be brave and we've got to try, or we're never going to establish those deeper connections which are actually extremely fulfilling. Us as humans, like our species, we're not designed to really be alone. Like I said previously in a different episode, even introverts sometimes will seek out like a connection, and emotional connections are what really fulfills us the most. Having that deep connection, having the someone that you can trust with your secrets or whatnot, it really does make you feel better. I know that it's been difficult for a lot of people, especially lately with all the lockdowns, and it's made us all really kind of feel excluded, or maybe we're not the same in our friend groups. The hierarchy has changed. The way that we interact with people has definitely changed, and I don't think it will ever go back to the way it was before. I mean, the way that we as people, as a society, do things has changed in a big way. I would really love to know what everyone else thinks about this. I wish that we were on a platform where it was easier to kind of have a flowing conversation about these things, but I challenge each and every one of you to go out and have a deeper conversation, be it with a stranger, be it with your best friend, be it with a family member. Just try and see how you feel afterward. Just give it a go. And I think that you're going to feel good about it. I could be wrong. It's happened before, but I think that you will feel good afterward. And that's the whole point. So that's going to be the end of today's podcast. And thank you very much for listening. Again, if you wouldn't mind following me or subscribing, if you enjoyed this, then I would really appreciate it. And I hope that you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.